The room was dim, not because it needed to be, but because someone decided that all serious galactic briefings should happen under mood lighting. Dozens of screens glowed around the Situation Hall, some displaying Earth surveillance, others locked in slow foal motion on a bipedal mammal in a full rabbit costume, hiding colorful objects behind shrubbery. High Commander Trag of the 13th Observational Fleet stood at the head of the room, mandibles clenched, claws drumming against the holographic table. He looked tired. Not the kind of tired that comes from war or diplomacy, worse. Cultural decoding. Behind him, a floating screen read, Human Ritual Designation, Easter Subfile, Category Unknown, Danger Level, Possibly Apocalyptic. The senior staff leaned in. There were 5 of them. A gelatinous cultural specialist named Slash, a bird-like tactician, a captain named Till, 2 scribes from the linguistics order who hadn't blinked in 12 hours, and a junior analyst who looked deeply traumatized. Commander Trag cleared his throat. Let us begin. He tapped a claw to the console. A still image appeared. A rabbit, bipedal, plastic smile, giant googly eyes, standing next to crying children. A shudder rippled through the room. First, Trag said solemnly, we believe this creature may be a deity. Gasps. Till dropped his stylus. Slurge gurgled nervously. They call it the bunny. The linguistics duo nodded together, their voices echoing. Also referred to as Easter Bunny, Big Fluffy. The Hopper, one regional cult refers to it simply as Bun Bun. Slurish raised a pseudopod. Permission to state for the record, Bun Bun is terrifying. Approved. Commander Trag gestured again. Another slide. Humans racing around green fields, scooping up brightly colored eggs. Children tackled each other for pastel shells. Grown adults stumbled into shrubbery. Operation Egg Retrieval, Trag muttered. We believe it to be a combat trial for Earth's young. The retrieval of the deity's sacred ovoids. Till scratched at his beak. Are the eggs valuable? Trag narrowed his eyes. They are made of sugar and chocolate. The humans consume them. Silence. They eat the gods' eggs. Slurish let out a squelch. Blasphemy. Cannibalistic reverence. Are they sacrificing them afterward? Worse, said the junior analyst, eyes twitching. Some of the eggs have money inside. There was a collective gasp. Bribery? Worship? Tribute? Is that capitalism? Trag waved them down. Focus. There's more. The next image showed a shopping aisle overflowing with pink, yellow, and green marshmallow constructs. Rows and rows of squishy birds and rabbits in packages. We intercepted a shipment of these. They're called Peeps. Till leaned in. Are they food? Possibly. But look. Footage played. A human dropped a peep into a microwave. It expanded grotesquely. Sparks. Meltdown. The peep split into 3, then imploded. Self-replicating food weapons, Trag concluded grimly. The peep is volatile, possibly ceremonial, possibly a failed war experiment, possibly both. A low whistle from the linguists. Peep warfare, the name is even onomatopoeic. Trag sighed. There's one final concern. The lights dimmed further. A single spotlight hit the center of the table. A video began to play. A bearded man, dressed in ancient robes, was placed into a stone tomb. A subtitle flashed. 3 days later. The stone rolled away. The man stood, alive. Trag tapped the screen to pause. We've reviewed this footage. This may be humanity's ultimate threat. A being who dies and comes back regularly. Every year. This isn't folklore, it's training footage. Till was trembling now. They're teaching their offspring resurrection? Slursh vibrated. That's not a holiday, that's a protocol. The junior analyst finally snapped. They die, they come back, they eat candy, they summon the bunny, and they microwave marshmallows as weapons. This is it. This is how Earth ends. Trag turned to the room slowly, his voice solemn. We are dealing with a species that celebrates sugar-coated warfare, cultish egg hunts, candy explosives, and resurrection. And they smile while doing it.
He paused, then changed the screen to one last message.
Mission status: do not interfere, do not approach, do not wake the bunny. An hour later, the Situation Room was darker, smellier, and far more chaotic. Someone had tried to microwave one of the intercepted peeps. The resulting sugar explosion took out an auxiliary translator and half the refreshments table. Slursh was still smoking faintly from the blast. The peep had won. Commander Trag returned to the head of the room, now holding a long laser pointer and the facial expression of someone deeply betrayed by reality. The walls pulsed with new intel. Files had been unlocked, footage decrypted, Google Translate had been weaponized. Everyone, sit down, and may whatever deity you believe in, unlike the bunny, protect us. The linguists, both damp from earlier fire suppression nist, pulled up a slide labeled chocolate crosses, candy graves, and sugar lambs. Slurish wheezed. They eat lambs made of sugar. Yes, said Trag, deadpan, and crosses made of chocolate.
Till squawked in horror. They consume their own mythology. Their religion is edible.
Exactly, Trag tapped the console again. We also intercepted visual records of a phenomenon called the Easter Parade. Footage rolled. Human children in pastel suits, entire families in coordinated outfits, giant hats, marching bands, synchronized dances, and in the center, riding a float shaped like a basket, a man in a rabbit costume blowing kisses to the crowd. Slurish spanned. The bunny is worshipped publicly? They cheer for it, one linguist added weakly. They give it offerings, plastic grass, dyed eggs, even chocolate, shaped like itself. Trag turned, laser pointer shaking. That means the bunny consumes its own image. The humans give it bunny-shaped tributes. It is a self-replicating idol.
Till shrieked, "It's a looped god!"
The room devolved into shouting.
We should warn the Galactic Council. What if the peeps multiply inside our digestive systems? How did we ever approve of Earth for observation?
Trag brought the room to order with one slam of his four-fingered fist. The room silenced, then dimmed. One final screen appeared, audio only. It was static.
Then, a whisper. He is risen.
Every alien leaned back in pure terror. One of the linguists began sobbing softly into a data tablet. Trag exhaled slowly. Their deity returns from death annually. Their rabbit idol spreads its image like viral worship. Their children are trained to hunt decorative fertility bombs. Their food is alive. Their candy is sentient. And they call it a holiday.
Slush whispered, "This is worse than Halloween."
Trag narrowed his eyes. No, this is worse than Valentine's Day.
The room went silent again.
Then Till raised one feathered wing slowly. What happens if we just do nothing? Trag clicked off the display. That was the plan, but someone, he said, glaring at the junior analyst, sent a recon drone, and someone else landed it next to a human megachurch. It was recorded, baptized, and now has a TikTok account. Slurish face slapped with a gelatinous splat.
Till muttered, "We're going to be in a gospel choir, aren't we?"
Trag didn't answer, because outside the ship, floating gently toward the airlock, was a chocolate egg, wrapped in foil, with a note attached. Happy Easter, he sees you. The interrogation chamber, officially called the Ambassadorial Clarification Suite, was usually reserved for delicate diplomacy. Today, it looked more like a kindergarten art room had collided with a theology class. A table sat in the center, surrounded by hollow displays showing eggs, rabbits, marshmallows, and unsettling amounts of glitter. At the far end sat the human. Mid-30s, hoodie, sneakers, cheerful expression that radiated either genuine friendliness or low-key chaos. He held a chocolate bunny in one hand and waved with the other. "Hey there," he said brightly. "I was told you wanted to learn about Easter? Man, you picked a wild one." Commander Trag stood behind a one-way glass, watching with narrowed eyes. Slush, Till, and the linguists huddled beside him, taking notes, twitching, and quietly praying to unrelated gods. Inside the room, the alien cultural specialist, a nervous green being with 7 eyes and a single, very expressive eyebrow, cleared its throat. Human Subject 127, please explain the sequence and purpose of your planetary ritual, Easter. The human blinked.
Oh, Easter. Sure, yeah. It's a holiday about resurrection, eggs, rabbits, candy, and getting sunburned while looking for sugar in your neighbor's lawn.
The alien blinked all 7 eyes. That sentence contained no logical thread. Exactly, the human said cheerfully. It's all symbolic.
Till hissed. Here it comes. The human leaned forward.
So, the central figure died, came back from the dead after 3 days, and now we eat ham and jelly beans about it. Slursh made a strangled, gelatinous gargle. The alien interviewer twitched. And the bunny? Oh, the human said, as if it were the most natural segue in the world. Yeah, the bunny hides eggs.
Why?
No idea.
The alien scribbled frantically. So the deity is a resurrection specialist with an oviparous trickster animal sidekick.
Well, the human said, chewing the bunny ear off his chocolate. Technically, the bunny's not part of the original story. It's more like a sugar-based mascot, like Santa, but with seasonal depression. Silence. So, the interviewer tried again. Your children are trained in competitive foraging. Your adults microwave volatile marshmallow birds, and your civilization consumes chocolate replicas of animals and sacred figures, while honoring an undead prophet. With hats? The human nodded. And there's a parade. Slosh collapsed.
Till leaned into the comm. Ask him about the eggs. Ask him what they represent.
The alien inside hesitated. The eggs. What do they symbolize?
The human shrugged. Spring? Fertility? Pagan rites absorbed into a hybrid theological construct to maintain cultural continuity post-conquest? Everyone outside the chamber froze. The human smiled. I watched a lot of History Channel during quarantine. Till whispered, he knows. The human popped the last of the chocolate rabbit into his mouth and waved.
Anyway, happy Easter. Don't overthink it. You'll pull something.